What's poppin', people? SSJAipom here with a brand new Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 video, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new DLC skills that just dropped for the free DLC. But before all that, I want to say apologies if the mic quality sounds a bit off. I have to record this using Share Factory instead of my usual software on the PC because my computer is currently dying right now, so that's a thing. But enough of that. I'm just going to explain why, the audio sounds weird. But yeah, we got some new skills and I'm very excited. Of course, we'll be using Potan for testing purposes. You guys know her from the mentor skill analysis videos. She has no investment in super attacks or damage at all, really, so this is going to be really fun. But anyway, let's get right into the skills. We're checking out Menacing Flare, Jumping Energy Wave, Wild Hunt, Focus Flash, and Tail Slicer. We got 5 moves to check out, and I gotta say that 2 of them are very, very good, especially if you guys can get them down. So first off, we're checking out Menacing Flare. This move comes out from the TP shop. It's a long-range beam that has very, very low damage. If the beam happens to miss the target, you'll do a warping kick behind them. This is a decent but telegraphed move, to say the least. It's important to note that if your opponent blocks the beam, you still do the kick behind their back. I'd recommend using it on a turtling opponent who is standing still or looking at your ally instead of you in like team match or something like that. There are definitely other moves that can do this gimmick of warping you to the target better than this one though. So outside of wanting to use it for style points, I can't really recommend it. It doesn't do too much damage, guys, so you're not really missing anything by going for this one or not going for it. But it's a move, it's a thing. There are definitely other options though, like Shining Slash on Saiyans and humans, or like even Tremor Pulse, the escape move, if you wanted to use that to just get close to the enemy, or even like a Feint Attack from Cooler. So you have other options that are a little bit better than this one and don't have to be as gimmicky, but the fact that the kick does pop up after the opponent blocks is really neat. I find that neat, find that cool. Next up, we have Jumping Energy Wave. The attack behaves much like Gorgeous Shot by firing a downward beam while shooting upward into the air. The beam will have a moderate knockback impulse, but it will not free from the animation even if it hits. There are no iframes during this attack at all though, and the damage is very inconsistent. The higher you are on the map, the larger the explosion will make on the ground on impact. So if you are close to the floor though, the explosion will actually take place underground, meaning it can actually miss your opponent even if they're right next to you. It's very weird, very strange thing, and because the damage is so inconsistent, I don't think it's something that you guys want to mess around with too much though. Its best usage is definitely when you are above your opponent, but from what we can tell, it's not a very good move right now. If you have a heavy knockdown combo or a way to knock your opponent right under you, by all means go for it, because it'll probably, hit. But the damage seems to be all over the place. We're hitting for like 500, 300, 850, 1300. Like, if you want to use a move, the first thing you want to find is consistency in the damage, because if it cannot keep repeating the same results or near the same results, it's not really a good move, and we don't know why this thing behaves the way it does. If it had iframes during the startup where you shot up, you could use this as a counter move, but since it doesn't, I would have to say you probably got to stick to other moves that are a little bit better than this one in terms of what you can do. If you can time it though, you can definitely do some extensions by knocking your opponent into the beam that shoots downward, which is okay during a stamina break, and getting used to that explosion that it creates on the floor and how the range of it kind of expands, or more of it is like exposed when you're above the ground, is really neat for some extension. You could probably do some Gorgeous Shot-esque moves or like momentum shifts or changes like that in your combo. So it's something to look at, but it's not the best of its type, I'll say. Wild Hunt is one of the very good free moves we're getting, and it's pretty much a multi-hit strike super that does very respectable damage even without investment, that will heavy knock down your opponent when you're nearest to the floor. Since it's a cinematic combo, it will behave strangely in bad connections online most likely, but it seems like everything is kind of tight and together in this one. It's not as like loose as say Sonic Rushes, where your opponent is being knocked around the map. Your character actually kind of like, it seems like you're very close to the enemy when you're doing the move. I can't really explain it, and it looks like it'll be okay. But having a neutral option for a heavy knockdown available on all customs is a very, very good welcome addition to the cast. It can be snap vanish out of though, but if the target escapes, you can just step or dash cancel away. This skill is very easy to link into and out of at the same time as well, so you can go into it from pretty much a light combo, a heavy combo, and it'll do like hit confirms because it's so fast, and it's very, very good. And you can get a heavy knockdown, stay closest to the bottom of the map, of course. So you can do you can even do like the hit confirm trick, since it's a multi-hit move where you're like throwing like, I don't know, a death ball or something, and then you activate the move while the hit counter is still going, to actually trick the game into letting you go to it. It's very easy. It's very easy to use, and it's probably my favorite super attack in the entire game so far. And the damage you can get for 1 bar is amazing because this thing is not an ultimate attack, and it does very, very good damage. And it can set up ultimates for you since it's a heavy knockdown. And I don't even need to tell you guys this if you've been watching the videos, but with heavy knockdown, you can get fast enough ultimates off without needing a stamina break. So you can keep pressuring your opponent without giving them their stamina back. This is easily one of the best strike supers in the game. And there's not much I have to say about it. Just get creative with it. And you have to have fun with something like this. This is really cool. You can go into Special Beam Cannon, Final Kamehameha, Super Kamehameha, Super Explosive Wave, probably Dragon Fist if you want to. Like, it's really, really good, guys. Test it out. See what you can come up with for it. Focus Flash is obtained by beating Broly in his new expert mission and is the best Ki Blast super out of the bunch that you get right now. You fire off a ball after a brief charge and then nail the target with a bunch of Ki Blasts for very sizable damage. At a distance, you lose some of that damage, so it's a skill that you want to use up close. The charge on this move is what makes it take a while, and it will fire off, so it's not really recommended after a knockback outside of a stamina break. It is, however, fast enough to be used after heavy knockdowns. I wonder what moves you could use for there. If your character has access to a move or combo that can go into a heavy knockdown or a super attack or ultimate attack like Saiyan Spirit or Wild Hunt, you can chain into this thing for free for very respectable damage on the Ki Blast character. Potan is not even like invested into damage, and she does really, really sizable damage with it. So I gotta say it's a very, very good move, especially if you have like the safe links into it. It does leave you wide open, however, guys, so if you do miss it, you got to be very careful, and you got to make sure that you don't get screwed over in the end. If your opponent does block the ball, you will be stuck doing the key spam thing, I'm pretty sure, too. So that is a thing. But if you miss, you are not stuck doing the whole key thing. So it's definitely something that you have to mess around with the confirms for. But the damage on this thing to extend your combos or extend the damage that you would get in a stamina break or ultimate is very, very good. Easily the best Ki Blast super out of the bunch if you're looking for raw damage for sure. Tail Slicer is the move you get from Janemba's expert mission, and it's a little on the unimpressive side to say the least. You'll hop back and like toss a fast moving unblockable disc that hits for like very, very low damage. The biggest feature of this move has to be the hit stun and the ability to restand a helpless opponent. The hop back makes it so you cannot combo into it after most knockbacks outside of stamina breaks, but it also has iframe, so you can use it as a counter attack against a single attack or a dash attack or a backswing, you know, if your timing is really, really A1. It can't be blocked, but if it is, the opponent like reduces the damage they take from the move. There are definitely better moves like Death Slicer or Destructo Disc or Super Destructo Disc. So I wouldn't really stress over this one unless you're like a completionist. There's not much that this move can do, but the standouts for me for sure, I gotta say, guys, are definitely gonna be Focus Flash and Wild Hunt. Those moves are great. They do very respectable damage without investment, and they seem to be very good in what they do niche-wise. Remember, Wild Hunt allows you to go into your ultimates without having to do much of anything even. You can just link into it from any light attack. You can love tap your opponent and then go into Wild Hunt and then get off an ultimate if they're below 2 bars. And you won't have to stamina break as long as you could like kite them down to the floor. And I feel like that's a very, very good thing to do with 1 bar. And you can do this on any character you have, you know, so you don't have to be a insert race here to have this. Like, no, it seems to be very good for everyone. And the Focus Flash is just the damage. I was very, very impressed by the damage it does up close. You guys want to make sure to use that thing on a heavy knockdown opponent and not get caught up trying to use it on a knockback enemy. If you do use it on someone you knocked away, try to do it during a stamina break, because the charge is what makes it fire very slowly. But these two are very, very good standout moves from this pack, and I gotta say, I'm impressed with these two. The other 3, you might be able to do some stylish things with it, but again, there are things that do their jobs way better. But that's gonna end it for the little skill breakdown portion. So you're probably watching the fight by now between Potan and Goku, just messing around with this stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. Let me know what your favorite skill is of the bunch in the comment section below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the very next video. Hopefully my computer is not dead, so I can do a bit more interacting with you guys. But if I do see any comments, I will try to respond to them from my phone. Pray for me, Jim. It's in your hands, goddammit, it's in your hands. Oh man, please take care of the channel.